Welcome back to Talking Hip Hop. I'm your host, JustKeekz, and today's guest is Nathan Baya. You don't want to miss this episode. Let's go!
The beat is only a friend to me when it stops beating. As long as it's breathing, I'm on it like house on every corner. They say Black Lives Matter, but this world is a disaster. Every day I see a black life on the platter. I'm black too, and the darker I get, the realer it gets. It's like my race is in a race to death. The way we all dying to live, I'm intelligent. So they say I speak white, I guess I speak black. Must mean to be ignorant. But last time I checked, white's not a language, and blacks were the first to educate. Let me educate.
Nathan Baya is a Canadian MC. He is known for making conscious rap music. He also is a vigorous leader in the Jane and Finch community. Baya is also the founder of an organization called Jane Street Speaks, and he creates free-spirited music that reflects his views and perceptions. Please welcome to the show, Nathan Baya.
Yo, 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 yo.
What's going on? How are you right now? How's 2020 going for you? I know it's a crazy year right now, but talk to me a little bit about how are you dealing with everything going on?
I'm dealing with everything going on as good as I possibly can be. I believe in the concept of taking one day at a time and not trying to stress out myself and just doing the best that I can do to help the fight with systemic racism, to help the fight with sexual violence, to help the fight with everything going on, while making sure that I keep myself healthy so I can fight the fight, right? Because you can if you keep fighting the fight without taking care of yourself, then you're gonna get drained. But altogether, I would say I'm making the best out of it, and I've been doing a lot, and I've been thankful that I've been able to do a lot at a time that decapitates a lot of artists. So
Right.
doing okay.
All right. So this is a question I usually ask all my guests. So just so that they can get some insight on you. So give me a timeline of your journey. Like, what was it like from the start? Like, how did you begin?
So I was always a kid who was talented. I always danced, I always rapped, I always did something in the medium of art. And anytime my family would link up for a Christmas party or whatever it is, they always knew that I'm gonna have a wow moment during the day, either a comedic joke or a dance or something. So I took on the level of entertainment from a very early age. And then at one point, my brother brought home a CD called "You Got Served," and when I saw the movie, I was just dancing heavy in the shower everywhere for a straight week, trying to learn all the choreography. And then at one point, I started thinking to myself, I enjoy dancing, but I want to dance to my own lyrics. I want to dance to my own sentiments, my own emotions, and get people to dance to that as well. So at 15, I entered this program called Lost Lyrics. And I think the first lyrics I put down was, I'm 15, coming from Tobermory 15. I don't know where, most kids don't know where their pops be. I wonder where's Maury and Tobermory. just putting words together. But I always knew I had a deeper message than the typical language you hear in certain rap songs.
So what I hear you're saying is that like you utilized all those programs that were around and kind of capitalized off of that. You kind of just utilized what was happening in the community at a young age when you started like early on. So I know that you, as I spoke about in the intro, you're behind an organization called Jane Street Speaks. What exactly is it, and what made you want to start such a positive collective?
Okay, so Jane Street Speaks, the title kind of embodies the meaning. It's giving the chance for Jane and Finch kids to get a chance to say how they speak, because we're always spoken for. People are always speaking for us. You don't see us reporting the news on CB24. You don't see us reporting the news on CBTV. It's people reporting the news for us and speaking for us, and not trying to shed light. Like, for example, I always say, if I commit a crime, it's going to represent the whole of the Jane and Finch community. But Tommy from Richmond Hill commits a crime, it's, oh, that's just Tommy. It doesn't reflect the whole community. So in a sense, the point I'm trying to make is, we don't have it easy out here, and people speak for us, and they don't really give us the opportunity to speak. The concept behind Jane Street Speaks is just to give the community an outlet. and let the community be heard. And that I've had over 30 plus events. There's never been a fight that's broken out. There's never been an argument. There's never been gun violence. And that was surprising and shocking to people, that you have a name like JustKeekz and there wasn't any war around it. And that's because it's all about love, and the representation of Jamie Finch is love. So JustKeekz is just a platform for local artists to get heard and help them go from local to global with our slogan, support local before global.
Okay. And so you would say that that's your slogan, support local before global, which it says it in the title itself. So you throw and host events, you're a community facilitator, and you're a hip hop artist. Did you ever imagine that like your life would be this busy and that you'd be doing all the things you are now? Or is it the opposite? Did this lifestyle kind of choose you?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Did I imagine it? Yes. I believe I always had a dream to do this type of work. Did I think it would come in such magnitude? No. Well, the thing about it is, you work so hard at something, how could it not? You know what I mean? Like, you dedicate so many hours, so much time to it. How could it at not point translate into a success? Which is really true, that if you dedicate 10,000 hours to something, you will master it. Right. So I always believed, when I was growing up as a kid, I cared to make myself famous. I was like, oh, everything has to be about me. But the more I grew up, I was like, that's weak. Let me use my light to shed a light on other things. And I'd rather make that my light. So me being known is me making you known, me making people known, and me highlighting struggles in communities. So it's a blessing to be busy, because I know what it's like to have a bunch of creativity and not have work to do. Mm-hmm. This can be a bit exhausting, but it's a blessing either way. But yeah, I would definitely say this life chose me, because if you look at videos from you as a child and now, and you notice that there's one thing you've always been doing, whether that's dance, rap, poetry, whatever it is, then that goes to tell you this is in your blood, because you've been forever. Mm-hmm. This is not a skill you had to learn. It's a skill you perfected that was already inside of you. And I feel like I've been doing art as long as I can remember, which tells me that art called me.
Yeah. Sorry, you kind of cut out on that last part.
That art called me and my body just responded to it.
Okay, nice. Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I was watching a Michael Jackson interview yesterday, and one of the questions that he was asked was like, why do you dance the way you do? And he basically said that, like, it's not me doing it, it's the rhythm that controls me. And I feel like what you're saying is like, sometimes it's already inside of you from the beginning. So let's talk about your music. So your music that you put out, it's almost like a soundtrack for your life, in the sense that you hold nothing back, you always speak your truth. Do you feel like being so transparent is something that helps you connect more with your listeners, your audience? Talk a little bit about why you choose to share your story, your narrative in all of your songs.
Because I just believe, I'm a huge fan of Nas, and I'm a huge fan of many artists who embody their story in their art. I think to myself, the reason why my art is the way it is because I'm an open book. I love to give a lot of lessons out. And those lessons at first could appear as losses, but there's a reason why losses and lessons both starts with L's. So it's not really ever an L. It's just a lesson that I could document in a song, pass it on to you, and hopefully you don't got to go through it as hard as I went through it, and you get a chance to learn, which is just what life is supposed to be like. Our generation is supposed to make it easier for the next generation. So when I work on music, I'm trying to curate music beyond the party and fun stuff. I'm trying to also create art that will be used as a tool and as a guidance to life.
So while we're talking about that, there's no question that you have a large catalog of songs out. You have some enlightening tracks, you got a few upbeat songs, but one thing that remains the same throughout all your music is there's always a message there. that's kind of consistent. There's always an underlying message. With that being said, I know you have all these songs out. Which of your release songs would you say have had the most impact, or like one that you cherish the most? And I know that's hard to choose because you have a lot of songs. I'm sure they all mean different things to you, but like, which is that song that you think had the most impact?
So my name is Nathan Baya, and I go by Baya Baby. That's my biggest. Nas had Escobar. Jay
You said
had
that's your nickname?
So Baya Baby came about really, really organically. You know what I mean? So I created a song called Baya Baby, and then it just became an alias. It became either, oh, that's Nathan Baya or that's Baya Baby. You know what I mean? And it just became a big thing. So when I look at impact, like whenever that song plays at a show, it's always a really great vibe. But of course, I got to promote what's out now. And Rise Above It is doing a great impact now with being the first song I got on CBC. And that was great to hear myself on the radio. I've been on Canadian radio before with shows like Master Plan 89.5 FM. But hearing myself on CBC with the release of a new record, it really let me know that, okay, if CBC sees me, then I'm doing something powerful. You know what I mean? So I really think what you write in your mom's room, in your mom's house, or wherever you write it in the world, it can really travel worldwide.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I've had a lot of songs who've done a lot of things good for me. Like I had a song called, after Black Panther, I wrote a song called Black Panther. And that song traveled the world and got me in a film that traveled the world as well. That went on to win a multitude of awards.
Right.
So it's kind of crazy to think that my voice and my name has been heard in cities I've never crossed my foot in.
Yeah.
I've never been there, you know, but my name and my music made it way before I physically did.
Yeah.
There's so many songs that have brought me to spaces that I never thought I would. Like I have a song called Freedom that got me to open up for our Prime Minister twice.
Hold that thought, because my next question segues into exactly what you just talked about.
Yes.
So take me back to February 24th. You had the wonderful opportunity. You were part of a powerful performance. You had the opportunity to perform for the Government of Canada's Black History Month reception, and it took place in Ottawa, I believe. What was that whole experience like? Talk to me about the rehearsals, because I know you performed alongside a choir. How did that work out with you being in Toronto, and I'm assuming the choir was in Ottawa? Like, talk to me about that whole experience.
So yes, Ottawa. It was crazy to hear, because so I did it twice. So the first time I did it, I got the email saying, hey, we want you to perform in Ottawa, and we want to cover your plane ticket. We want to cover your hotel. And I was just kind of there like, little old me? You want that for me? But I never had that experience before of another city calling me out and saying they want to fly me out. And I was like, wow, this is the life I've always dreamed of living. Even though I'm still traveling in the context of Canada, this is the life I want to live. Like, hopefully the next time it's like Europe calls me or something. You know what I mean? But in general, so it was my first time getting the full-on artist experience that I wanted, to be called out to travel and stuff. And at first I didn't necessarily know I was going to open up for Trudeau. I was called...
You're referring to the first time?
The first time. I was told you're going to do workshops, and on your last day you're going to perform. I said, cool. I did all my workshops during the weekend, and then Monday came now, and they're like, okay, it's time to perform. And then there's 1,000 Black people in the audience. It is the Black conference, so it makes sense. 1,000 Black people in the audience, and then they're like, yeah, you're on before Trudeau. What?
Wait, okay, because you didn't know, and then they tell you that, and you're like, whoa, what? Yeah.
What do you mean I'm on before Trudeau? Like, Trudeau's just my next door neighbor.
Yeah.
So that made it, I know I don't get nervous, but that was very nerve-wracking for me. The show was great. Came back to the city, and I had a beautiful testimony to tell. Now, the second time, I knew what the hell was going on. I knew it's Trudeau, and I knew this and the third. the only thing that the difference between this year and last year is this year, past the performance, I was, well, you also asked me the choir experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, they heard the song. They heard my song, and then they had to re-sing the hook part. And the hook is it's a song called Freedom by Oscar Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to re-sing the hook of that song.
So the song is the song yours, or is the song another song?
Okay, so basically how this all came about, there was so Oscar Peterson has a song called Hymns to Freedom. Hopefully I'm not butchering it. And they sent me that song and they said, Nathan, we want a rap version of this. I heard the song and I said, okay, I can rock with this.
Mm-hmm.
I went to my engineer Civilian. I told Civilian, you need to give me some rap stuff, but we need to put this in the hook. So we did our rendition of it. We sent it to Ottawa. Ottawa said, yo, we want this song. And we're going to get our choir to accompany you as you rap it.
I see. Okay.
So they learned the chorus, and then I got a chance to rehearse with them for like 15 minutes before the show. You know, that's why when we did it the second time, it was a lot better because I knew them from last year, and it was great. The second time it was great. And what's good about the second time is Trudeau actually posted me on his Instagram, which is crazy.
Yes, I seen that. So hopefully this is something that you can do like annually and you can continue to do, right?
But next time Trudeau got to open up for me. We'll continue.
Oh, okay. But that's actually kind of crazy that like he was before you and then you didn't know. Like that's a really cool story that you can always tell. So you're very self-aware, and I say this, you know, from knowing you for a while. I can tell that you're very connected to your purpose, and you know exactly what your calling is, and you're very fortunate because you found that early on in life. With that being said, like what did it take for you to find out what your purpose was? Because I'm sure like so many of us, there was a point where you probably didn't know what you wanted to do. So how did you find out what your true life mission was? What was Nathan's mission and how did you find that out?
Okay, so when we're talking about purpose, that's your motivation, your reason to grind, the reason what you do, this, that, and the third. Now, my purpose is to heal the world. Heal the world in the best ways that I possibly can. Music,
Michael Jackson. I'm joking. Huh? I said cue Michael Jackson because you said heal the world. I just had to say that.
Of course. But in general, that's what I believe my purpose is. And I believe if you live a life to help and serve, then the reciprocation of that will forever be eternal blessings. And I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But every day I try to make my purpose to serve and better the lives of others. That's why me working a job that doesn't align with that, or me doing anything that doesn't align with that, will always trickle down to depression, because I have one life, I have one brain, I have one mind, I have one body. And I don't know how much time I have, but I know the time that I have, I'm going to dedicate it to doing work that I want to. And unfortunately, we live in a capitalist society where people are sacrificing their dreams to be able to even dream. Isn't that crazy? Like, you have to work at a job that has nothing to do with your purpose to get money from that job to invest it into your purpose. So altogether, to me, I just believe that my purpose is to help and heal, and I'm not willing to do anything outside of that. And I believe if I just stick to my guns and I stick to my visions, the vision will become a reality. And it's been manifesting in different ways. And no diploma or lack of can stop you. You know what I mean? You have the resume, you have the credentials, you have the piece of paperwork in your brain.
What kind of advice would you give to little children who probably, as I said, they actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch this question. What advice would you give to children who live in our community, who live in Jane and Finch, who feel like their dreams are impossible? They don't know, because you're proof that it can happen, right? they don't think that, you know, they'll get to where they want to be, what would you tell them?
So I would tell them that your life is someone's Bible, and somebody is flipping through your pages to basically see, is it a possibility that I can be more than what I am? So every day, the way I try to live my life is I try to say that, yo, there's another black boy just like me who wants to know and who wants to see, is it a possibility? And if I make it a reality for him or for her, then they will know if Nathan can do it, then so can I, because Nathan is not half man, half something else. He's full human being and I'm full human being, so I should be capable of the same things. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't given more or less than the other person. I was just given the skills that I had and I made it work. You know what I mean? So you are capable of doing the same thing. And it's all about just tapping into your star player. You know, right. I would just tell any other youth coming up to just focus on yourself, focus on your own lane, and don't be surprised at what you can do. You know, but you keep focusing on other people's lanes. The only reason why you should focus on other people's lanes is to learn life lessons about their crashes when they were on their drive, so that you cannot repeat that in your lane. But, you know, focus on you. Be happy for people. Don't be jealous for people. And don't be jealous. Get motivated by it. Get motivated by, yo, this person's putting in a lot of work. Let me step up my grind. That's the only purpose behind it. But that jealousy, if you have time to be jealous, you're not even in the game. You know?
Yep. Alrighty. So list all your social media accounts. Where can people go to follow Nathan? List your organization's account, all of that good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. My Instagram is Nathan.Baya. My organization account is Speaks _ and all together it's Nathan Baya on every streaming platform. And yeah.
Alrighty. So make sure to keep up with Nathan on all the platforms. He's definitely an emerging artist you want to keep your eyes out for. Yeah, that wraps up this episode. I'm your host, JustKeekz, and until next time, keep talking hip hop.
Peace.